please stand for the prayer and the pledge of allegiance, please. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all the many blessings, Lord. We thank you once again for allowing us to come together as a board, Lord. We pray we do everything in accordance with our will. We pray for our country and the men and women that serve it, that you put your hand around them and bring them back home safe and sound to be with their families. Lord, we pray for the sick, and especially the ones that is close to us, that you will restore them back to their much wanted health. Be thy will. We pray for the families that have lost loved ones. Comfort them as only you know how. Forgive us of our sins. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Chief Etheridge, you lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. Roll call, everyone is present. Need a motion to approve the minutes of last month's meeting.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Dishman,
Second.
second by Alderman Langford. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye. All opposed, like sign, motion passed. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? I have one, a resolution going to be presented by Mr. Ray Evans for adding members to the Downtown Revitalization Committee. And also have a deletion, item number 3, Greg Davenport from J.R. Wofford and Company. He has had some wisdom teeth problems, so he's having to go to the oral surgeon. So he'll be back later on. So, is there any other additions or deletions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to add and take away the additions and deletions.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Coleman,
Second.
second by Alderman Rexdale. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed. We will delete item number 3. And add the resolution. I guess actually that'd be item number 7, really. We just move on up. So, resolution by Mr. Ray Evans. Okay. There's no old business, so item number 1 is under new business, Downtown Revitalization, Mr. Ray Evans.
Mayor and Alderman, I passed out a summary report that you should have at your spot. First was report on the TDOT Multiple Access Grant. That design is continuing and continuing well. We scheduled a design review, a field review meeting with their consultants for Thursday, October the 17th. And we'll probably take that opportunity to meet with a few of the property owners that are affected by the project to get their input to the specifics of the construction in front of their businesses and residences, wherever that might be. Second item, the Transportation Alternatives Program grant, TAPS. Recall last month, this body gave approval for us to submit the application. We did so on October the 30th, and we have received an acknowledgement that it has been received by TDOT. Don't have a schedule yet as to when they might review and announce announce those awards, but recall that that was for significant improvements to the grounds of the courthouse itself. But we've sort of in the grant, we call it the courthouse plaza. We haven't received any news on the CDBG commercial facade improvement grant, and I think in this case probably no news is bad news, because I know there have been a community or two that have been announced. So I suspect that if you were fortunate to receive a grant, you know they've been out, and we don't know that we were. You have in your package a proposed budget for the usage of the sales tax revenues, the rebate that we have just received from the state. That document should look like this. And we received this year $205,312. And recall that all of those proceeds have to be used for projects within the sales tax rebate area. It can't be used as just general fund efforts. We've listed what we think are reasonable projects in a priority order. The first three are almost mandatory. Well, the first one certainly is, and that's a loan repayment of $137,000. So we take that off the top. We always have those miscellaneous fees for BMI and others having to do with being able to have music in the Central Park, show movies in Central Park and such. So we've budgeted $1,000 for that. By understanding from this program was established, there is a fee paid to the Chamber of Commerce for their support of these activities of $25,000, and I've asked Greg McDonald to come before you next month and sort of give the board an idea of how that $25,000 would be spent, but I think some examples might be following, for instance. Then next is a series of small projects that we have identified. The first being replacement of the safety rails on North Church Street. If you have seen those rails that have been along North Church down to Chris's funeral home, it's about to fall off the side of the sidewalk. There's several places where that rail is failing. Certainly doesn't meet any current standards. We're getting concerned from a safety standpoint, so we think that is the number one of the small projects that we would recommend. The next one is a security fence behind what is spelled up here, right behind the rotary mainstay. We were all sort of surprised that there wasn't a fence back there. We have the entire park fenced except for the area behind the retaining wall behind the main stage. So even in a paid event, if someone wanted to simply come in and step off the retaining wall, which is not very high, they could do so. And so we think that we should be taking care of that situation, so we budgeted $10,000 for that. The Chamber and others for some time have been campaigning for a bigger, better, easier Christmas tree. And we have found a source for such that is easy to put up, easy to take down, and just looks like $1 million, and so we budgeted money for that as well. Another item is landscaping and irrigation in the main street public parking lot. At one time, I think those beds had some plants in them. Those are mostly long gone. That's one of the front doors to the square. We think it's important that be re-landscaped and irrigation put in so that the landscaping has a chance of survival. Repair of the clock. We've had several comments that the clock is exactly correct twice a day, but only twice a day. And in other words, it hadn't actually worked in a long time. And so we have put in some money in the budget for the repair of that clock. We've added two additional items, the match for the multimodal access grant. You see by the time we get down to that point, we have about $6,000 remaining of what we expect the match should be this year of about $33,000. And we would also then, from this budget, have a shortfall to match the courthouse square grant project as well. I would be happy for y'all to consider this budget tonight. I would also be happy if you want to mull over it for a month and then vote on it next month, whatever your pleasure is. But this is the budget for expenditure of the $205,312 that we have received. And I will say that we had actually anticipated probably $45,000 more than that, but it's also about $45,000 more than we received last year. Last year was by far out this year. And it's within 20,000 of what our average has been for the last several years before last year. Entertain any questions about that?
So just keep in mind too, obviously we was out the revenues without the revenue of Williams Hardware. But we did get the addition of other stores and restaurants in the area that has helped contribute a little bit too. So depending on when they took this, we hope this time next year, I think everything continues on will be at that target number that we was. So, is there any questions for Mr. Ray Evans?
Ray, you spoke on within $20,000 of what you anticipated, but you said minus 45. That was from last year's. In the year before, what's the ratio in the year before? You have any idea?
Last year, we received in round numbers $165,000. A couple of years before that were about $225,000.
Okay. I was thinking it was kind of high a couple of years ago, but I didn't know, so it's about $225,000.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Evans? David?
Well, I just looking and trying to get it in my head. So if we go down all the way to item number 9, you're gonna need roughly $27,000 from us. And if you go down to item number 10, you need $70,000 from us. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes, sir. And again, all of this is your money, except this is a dedicated pot that can only be spent in a given area.
Okay, so if we do 9 and 10 both, we need 100,000. Is that correct, or we still just need the 70?
76,000.
You would be,
What I'm saying, 70,000 to do all 10 items?
no. That would be the net. That's the net shortfall, mostly from items 9 and 10.
Okay. So you need 27,000 for item 9 and then 70,000 for item 10.
No, 43 for item 10, for a total of 69. 69,988. This is a cumulative list on the right-hand column.
So to do all 10 items, how much money would you need from us?
69,988.
That's my question. Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Evans?
So we will assume your concurrence with the budget and start initiating some of these projects and bring those forward to you.
Ray, let's talk about the TDOT multimodal access grant. When will our part be due? Will that be this fiscal year, or are we talking about fiscal year?
So that's a reimbursement grant, so you pay as the expenses come in. So for instance, right now, Kimberly Horn is sending you some invoices.
Right.
You pay 100% of those, and then you hopefully immediately, turn around and ask the state for reimbursement of 95% of what you paid.
Okay.
So you have, a fair amount out, and you get most of that back within 60 days until the end of the project.
And the project deadline on this, Ray, I can't remember, What's the project deadline? When's it, project expire? When's it?
I think it's in 2021, so there's more than enough time to get it designed and constructed. I think we're anticipating a 4-month construction duration, so.
So if we do the 70,000, there's a good chance that we'll get 95% of it back. Is that what you're saying?
The 33, I believe, is the, I mean, that's a good question.
Ray, hit your mic again. Thank you.
I need to relook at that grant. We may have had some expenses that were not reimbursable that added to that 33,000, but I will bring that back to you. And that's not uncommon with a TDOT grant, that there's some things, even though they say it's a 90-5 or 80-20, by the time there's certain things that they don't participate in, it gets to be a wider match than that.
Have we been billed already by Kimberly?
Yeah,
For some amounts?
We have got an invoice from Kinley. Yes.
I think they may have sent us 3 by now, one in the last week or so.
Any other questions for Mr. Randall? Is there any action that needs to be took at this time, or do you want to put it on the agenda for next month, or how do you want to?
We study, I mean, I see what it is, Ray, but I think it's okay with you, since we just got this tonight, to delay it and vote on it, you know? Because I know we've got to do it, but yet we have a chance to study with these papers. Maybe I can get some questions answered if we need them, right? So I make a motion to put it on next month.
Sorry.
Okay, there's a motion made by Alderman Dishman, second by Alderman Langford. Any discussion?
Ray, do you feel item number 4 is estimated extremely high, $20,000?
Chris, if anything, I think it might be slightly low. And that's actually based on the cost of the rails that we did in the previous TDOT project that are down Spring Street, in front of Nolan's and in front of Penny's, if I look at those unit prices. And it partially depends upon how much we want to do. The anticipation is that we would actually bring it back further than the present rail done, because, you know, we've got to drop off even back as far as the last week was stylus, for instance.
I have a quick question, Ray. On number 9, the multimodal access grant, I believe that we've already approved that project.
Yeah.
So this is simply, we're to determine really whether or not we want our portion of that project to be paid for out of the sales tax rebate, right?
That's
Because
right.
we've already committed to that.
That's right.
And the reason we show both of those on there is that certainly is this group's option. It will either come out of the general fund or come out of these funds, and if it comes out of these funds, then most of these other projects we can't do.
Ray, one more thing, you come at the railings there and maybe coming up further. I'm sure that personally would like to see that done, because you see some people try to step off or jump off. If they park across the street, and they need to be able to come all the way up in that sidewalk. And so put the railing, hopefully they wouldn't do that. So, I mean, even the cost, you know, it may be a little more, but safety factor coming on up there. So if you could, probably maybe figure that and see how much it would be.
We've heard from the shop owners that there's actually been folks who have fallen off.
Well, yeah.
Not just stepped off and tumbled, but actually didn't know where they were and stepped backwards and fell.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? And that is to table this and put it on next month's agenda. There's a motion and a second. So, Phyllis, will do roll call, please.
Alderman Coleman,
Yes.
Alderman Eastman,
Yes.
Alderman Langford,
Yes.
Alderman Spett,
No.
Vice Mayor Dotson,
Yes.
Alderman Boone,
Yes.
motion passed.
Motion passed. Thank you, Mr. Evans. We got other business?
I do, next item is Central Park rental properties that we said last month that we would bring to you this meeting. We're telling you this meeting, we'll bring them to you next meeting. We didn't get around to addressing those this last month. Also, you will, as the mayor said, you'll have a resolution to be considered later in the agenda to increase the number of members of the Livingston Downtown Revitalization Committee from 7 to 9. Last item, which you don't have on your report, is that, and this is regarding the Tennessee Main Street program. We have a meeting scheduled with the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development staff in Livingston on Halloween, October the 31st, for them to indoctrinate us on where we are in the process and all the other steps that we have yet to do in order to achieve the Main Street status.
So as Ray says here, this is increasing the number of members serving on the Livingston Downtown Revitalization Committee. This is resolution 2019-10-2. Is there a motion? Anyone will entertain a motion to accept this resolution?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Ken Dodson,
Second.
second by Alderman Kelly Coleman. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. I don't have a problem going with the 9 members. I mean, I don't really have a problem with that at all. But it says right here, the 6 members should be property owners, business owners, or residents. Residents don't necessarily mean they're taxpayers. What I'm getting at, if they're gonna vote and make decisions on their town, they need to be a taxpayer.
Okay, I have one question too on that, Ray. I don't know, probably adding 6 members now, the total amount. Now, will y'all pick these and bring them back to us to vote on, or will? I mean, it says
It says right here, the mayor will pick them.
mayor pick them. So you will pick them, bring them forward.
I would call that one error. When I looked at the agenda, I thought that there was already a resolution on the agenda, so I called this one resolution 2019-10-2. That was an ordinance, not a resolution, so this should be 2019-10-1. Is that right, Ms. Phillips? Okay.
Ray, one more question for the meeting ones here for us. Tell us who is currently serving on this board now, besides yourself.
Mayor Hayes, Arnold Proctor, Shannon Cantrell, Greg McDonald, Mark Dudley, and Diane Sadler, and myself.
Any other?
Well, Mayor, so you pick these other ones that'll be on this. We won't be able to vote on them outright.
According to this resolution, that's correct.
So remember how you did this when you established the committee in March. The mayor gave you a list of names for you to approve, and you approved those names. And so this would basically, as it reads here, that the mayor would nominate the members, and the board of mayor and aldermen would then confirm those nominations.
And these meetings are public meetings since this is a government body.
They are public meetings, almost every first and third Friday of the month at 10 o'clock at First National Bank of Tennessee.
And it is an advisory board?
Yes, it is an advisory board to this board.
Okay, and I think Mark Dudney, wouldn't he, he's not a resident Overland County or Livingston.
Mark is the representative of the Upper Cumberland Development.
Right, so why don't you clarify then David's question about the residents? 'Cause I'm
There are a few folks, like myself, that are residents of the area. Dover's Ridge would be another example, that aren't necessarily business owners or
You're a property owner, though.
I am a property owner, yeah, as well. But there could be those who actually have an apartment there, who are voters, who are registered voters, or citizens of Livingston that simply don't own their residence. And I can't think of any of those, but there might be some. And
Well,
so-
I think the bottom line is that we've established that if a name appears on that list that's been nominated, and if someone on this board has a problem with that name, I'm sure we could object at that time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so there's a motion and a second on the floor. Motion by Ken, second by Kelly Coleman. We've had our discussion, roll call vote, Ms. Phyllis.
Alderman Bushman,
No.
Alderman Langford,
No.
Alderman Spit,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dotson,
Yes.
Alderman Dale,
Yes.
Alderman Coleman,
Yes.
motion passed.
Motion passed 4-2. Any other business, Mr. Evans? Item number 2, Mr. David Darnell, Highlands Economic Partnership. Mr. Darnell?
Mr. Mayor, thank you, and Alderman, thank you for having me this evening. I'm the Director of Investor Relations with the Highlands Economic Partnership. For those that don't know, we specialize in economic development, workforce, and education for Jackson, Overton, Putnam, and White counties. In a couple of previous meetings with Mayor Hayes, he asked that I come and give you guys an update on what we're doing currently, and some of the things that we're working on, so I'm simply here to provide you with an update, and I'll be brief. First and foremost, with the economic development, as you guys know, it's a tenuous time right now with national and international economic disruption, but our work remains the same, nothing changes. Project volumes remain high, excuse me, but available property and labor is what's driving leads right now. Our current focus is automotive suppliers, IT, ceramics, and medical devices. In agriculture and agricultural equipment is a new target that we're prospecting for future inquiries. The goal remains to keep creating jobs, to keep young talent in the region in all 4 counties. And Stephen, our VP of Economic Development, is setting up another ED or Economic Development 101 class for Mayor Hayes and whoever would like to attend. And we're constantly, the economic development piece being at the disposal of both the city and the chamber as needed for resources and questions. In terms of workforce and education, we're currently working on our 10th annual career fair, which is comprised of 1,900 plus 8th graders from 7 different counties, including Overton County. They're all participating. We're currently working on Highlands Leaders Program, which develops current and future leaders who will support economic development in our partner counties. The program runs from January until April 2020, and we're still taking nominations for that if you all have anyone that you'd like to nominate. YP Highlands is a big program that we're working on right now, specifically for 21 to 45-year-old professionals in all 4 counties. It's designed to attract and retain young and diverse professionals for Jackson, Overton, Putnam, and White counties, and progress the well-being of these communities. We're also focusing on networking, outreach, and professional development, hosting On the Menu, which is a lunch and learn series that we're doing, and we'd be happy to host some of those in Overton and Livingston as needed and as you guys would like for us to. Additionally, we have a speakers program where we go and speak to 8th graders to inspire them to pursue specific career paths that align with the objectives and needs for our current employers in all 4 counties. And in terms of investor relations, which is my role, with you guys being an investor in the Highlands Economic Partnership at a gold level, I want to make sure that you all have a voice and you're heard, so I'm here to be a voice for you. If there's anything that you'd like to be addressed with the Highlands Economic Partnership, I'd be happy to be that voice for you. I think Mayor Hayes can attest to that. If you guys ask for something, I'd be happy to deliver that message. And currently, I'm laser focused personally on bringing tangible and quantifiable value add to investors. We're incorporating new things like the Power Hour, which will be a networking event for business professionals, business owners, and really businesses in general in all 4 counties to network and showcase their businesses. Working on building a bigger social presence and sharing our investor social posts for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. As you guys share stuff, again, just to kind of showcase and elevate your brand as a city. Our Highlands Highlight video is a new program that we're rolling out for our top tier investors, where we go in and talk to investors about what they're doing with their, with their business and how they're impacting the community and why they invest in the Highlands Economic Partnership, so we can continue to move that boat forward. And then the biggest thing and all the hype in the Highlands right now is our 2020 referral guide, which will be the Highlands Economic Partnership referral guide, which will be comprised of businesses that invest at steering committee level, that'll be given to companies that are coming into the community as really a means for their employees transitioning to our area. And that's all that I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions for you all.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Darnell? Mr. Darnell is obviously here on behalf of the Highlands, and the city of Livingston budgets approximately about $5,000 to be a part of this economic region effort to grow business and industry here in Overton County.
Just a quick question.
Yes,
You mentioned the social media promotion of, businesses, et cetera. Well, recently we announced a new automotive supply company located in Livingston, so it might be good to promote that, I guess, in the Highland social media.
Absolutely. So I'll be personally responsible for any shares that come. So I'll be the reactive poster in social media. We have a communications coordinator that's full-time on staff, but as you probably know, he's divvied up between the Cookeville Visitors Bureau, the Chamber, and the Highlands Economic Partnership. So due to that lack of resources, I'll be the one that's going to be sharing those types of things. And I follow all of our investors personally and ensure that they get the post share from the Highlands Economic page.
Any other questions for Mr. Darnell? Thanks for coming in, Mr. Darnell. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. Item number 4, should an update, you see Young City, Mr. Ben Wingham is being here. I got caught up in some stuff. We'll move on to item number 5, Property Maintenance Committee report. Mr. Christopher Mansell.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Board Alderman, we have a direct report. It's from, this is dealing with our property maintenance. This is the results of the actions that's been taken over the last few months on the properties that have been brought before the board, vehicles, and the slum ordinance as well. We've had 34 properties that have been brought here with a complaint. 22 of them are now in compliance. There's 9 properties that will be brought up on in October. On the vehicles, we have had 23 vehicles in the abandoned, wrecked, or dismantled that have been complained on. 14 of those are now in compliance. 9 are left on old bills. None of these had to be towed by the city. They've been taken care of, moved by the owners themselves, or tagged as they needed to be. And our slum ordinance, we've had 2 properties that have met the criteria of slum. One we have a hearing on. They have until October 22nd to make good on that, and the other one has until January 7th to come into compliance, which that is a house. And I think, as you can see, that this is a huge reflection on the property maintenance board, and what's been done. These numbers speak for themselves, and I think we're moving in the right direction on this.
Thank you, Christian. This is just a reminder that the ordinance 2019-0202 was passed in March of 19, the creation of the Property Maintenance Board. The ordinance states the Property Maintenance Advisory Board should be created to assist the Livingston building official in determining which property violation should be subject to the codes of enforcement action. The Mayor and Board of Aldermen passed the ordinance to create the Property Maintenance Advisory Board in order to provide a transparent forum to openly discuss potential violations. They are encouraged to offer fair and unbiased recommendations to Christian. And this board will be meeting on the second Tuesdays of every month at 5 o'clock. Second Tuesdays every afternoon at 5 o'clock. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Manson?
The property that we built them $537.30, where's that at?
It's, on, University.
Okay, and the property that we're building them $3,929.58, where's that at?
That's on purpose.
I've seen both properties, they look excellent, city done really a good job, but, I'm not sticking nobody with a $4,000 bill.
Okay. Christian, thank you.
I have just a point. I'd like to point out one property that's been an eyesore for some years, and that is the old block plant down across from Dairy Queen. And I just
Yes,
believe in
that's-
the last week, there's been significant improvement made there, and I personally just am not certain that we would have reached the level of enforcement that we are today with the numbers that you've brought to us, as well as examples such as Burgess University and the old block plant, had we not instituted some of these programs that we're talking about tonight. So thank you for all the work that you're doing. Thank you to the advisory board for offering their suggestions, their input. I know they're volunteering their time and deserve to be credited for their efforts as well.
Yes. Well, I have the honor of serving on that board as my duty among us, and they're open meetings as well, just like everything else, and I encourage y'all to come to those because it's very encouraging to see the progress that's been made since this has gone into effect, just in the before and after pictures that are shown at each of those advisory board meetings. I mean, it's making a huge difference.
It sure is.
Thank you very much, Christian, for the report. Item number 6 is a proclamation about Imagine a Day Without Water from TDEC, Ms. Tara Woodward. Ms. Woodward?
Good evening, Mayor, push the button. Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Aldermen, thank you for having me here. My name is Tara Volgament. I'm the Regional Director of External Affairs for TDEC, the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. I'm out of the Cookville Field Office. I'm your local representative of TDEC, me and Scott Mitchell. I'm sure you all know. So if you need anything, let me know. Thank you for hearing me tonight about this proclamation. TDEC is over our Division of Water Resources, who is charged with managing, protecting, and enhancing the quality of the state's water resources. And one of the initiatives we're having this year to help promote the importance of water and highlight its uses and its future throughout Tennessee is participating in the Imagine a Day Without Water campaign. More than 1,100 organizations and communities participated last year, and so on October 23rd this year, we will lead the effort to take that thought process of imagining a day without water. And we wanted to recognize the services that cities like Livingston provide to its citizens with regards to water resources. So I have a proclamation here that is very similar to the one that is being passed by Governor Bill Lee currently. It's on his desk, so I've heard as of this morning. So I'd like to, would you like me to read this for you all, and then you'll give me a thumbs up or thumbs down?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Get the green light.
Great. So, whereas Tennessee's 6.7 million residents rely on our 60,000 miles of rivers and streams, high-quality aquifers, and groundwater, along with our more than 100,000 miles of public water infrastructure to provide drinking water to greater than 90% of our state's population. And whereas access to clean drinking water and managing water responsibly is critical to Tennessee's communities' public and environmental health, to a high quality of life through through economic, commerce, power generation, and recreation. And whereas the water and wastewater infrastructure that brings water to and from homes and businesses is essential to the quality of life and economic vitality of Tennessee. And whereas utilities in urban, suburban, and rural Tennessee communities are grappling with aging infrastructure and access to the reliable funding required to maintain and upgrade their systems. Whereas investing in our drinking water and wastewater systems will secure a bright and prosperous future for generations to come. Whereas every individual can make a difference when it comes to conserving and saving water to protect this critical resource and promote a healthy economy and community. And then it would say, and whereas the City of Livingston recognizes that water is essential to our quality of life and economic competitiveness, and acknowledges the importance of educating the public about the value of all water through the Imagine a Day Without Water campaign.
Thank you. And as you know, you can see some of the signs on the back wall that we've made large investments in resources for water in our community. Over $16 million commitment from Cumberland River to back to Livingston. So we run a 20-inch ductile iron, 19 miles cross country to be able to have a forever water supply for our community. So we appreciate you doing this, and I can't imagine a day without water in our business. So thank you, Ms. Woodworth. Is there a motion to entertain for this proclamation? Accept this proclamation.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Motion made by Alderman Dishman,
Second.
second by Alderman Coleman. Any questions for Ms. Tara Woodworth? If not, all for the motion, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed. Thank you, Ms. Woodworth. Do you have any other business? Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7, ordinance 2019-10-1, rezoning Norris property from C1 to I1. And this is a property that Mr. Brent Lars owns there at the intersection of Preston and the bypass. And this is a step, by rezoning this, would be a step closer to land in there or plant that is seriously taking a look at Livingston. So to be able to.
Is this the Goodyear property?
Yes. So this would, and this has been approved by the Livingston Planning Commission in last month's meeting. So I just need a motion to.
Make a motion, we
For
make a change.
Motion made by Alderman Langford. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Dale. Any discussion? All for the motion, let it know by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed. Okay. Ray, you done did the resolution on item number 8, haven't you? Okay. All right, well, no other business. Is anyone from the public want to address the council? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I realized this wasn't on the agenda, and I thought of it after we completed the agenda, but would it be possible to report on the update on the paving that's going on over in specifically the Livingston neighborhood? Can we do that?
Yeah, so, go ahead, Wayne.
Just for the public to know.
Wayne's usually a shy guy. Go ahead, Wayne.
All that's completed over in Carr Avenue. University's not been got, they're coming back, they're gonna get it. The rest of us been complaining.
Well, it looks great, and the work that you've done again is outstanding with all the ditch riprap that you've had to put in the tile work. It really looks great, and I've heard from several folks that live over there that just really tickled to get this work done finally, so thanks for getting that done for us.
Thank you.
When they come back, they're gonna do down around the park and all
Yes.
that.
Okay, if no other business, take a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Vice Mayor Ken Dodson, second by Kelly Coleman. Any discussion? All for the motion, let know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. We're adjourned.